Hello and welcome to another edition of On Topic. I'm John Testa, the County Legislator for Northern Westchester, District 1, which is the city of Peekskill, the town of Cortland, and the town of Yorktown. It's an honor to be your representative here in Northern Westchester, and today, our update show, and welcome again to another On Topic. We're here today at the Hudson Valley or the Ansville Creek area, Hudson River Paddle Sports Center here, right off of Ansville Circle in the town of Cortland. A beautiful spot. If you haven't been here, definitely come by. It's a beautiful fall day today, and you can see right up the Hudson River, and you can see the beautiful scenery we have here. As we all like to brag about, we feel this area is the most beautiful in the world. So we might as well highlight it while we can before the winter comes again, and we have all the, hopefully not the snow that we've had in the past few years. But today is a very important show. There's a lot to bring you, a lot of information, and I want to begin out in the district where it connects basically through Peekskill and Cortland into Yorktown, and that is Route 202. Route 202 is a major thoroughfare, east-west corridor for Northern Westchester. It has been in terrible shape for decades, actually. It's been repaired here and there. You may know that within the last couple of years, New York State, the part that is owned by New York State begins roughly where the Peekskill Animal Hospital is, right through in front of the Hudson Valley Hospital Center and all the way out to Yorktown. Well, that was done a couple years ago, and now it was time to get the Peekskill section done, which is owned by the county and controlled by the county of Westchester. So that's where I come in, and I spent quite a bit of time over the last few years with my colleagues getting them to approve a measure, a bond to bring in a couple $1 million so the road could be done in the full length from the Peekskill Animal Hospital all the way to the monument on Northern Division Street in Peekskill. That whole stretch is being done these last couple of months, and I know it's been a little frustrating as you have traveled and traffic has been snarled and a lot of work is being done, but it's a very important work being done. It's not just a repaving as is sometimes done. This is a whole reconstruction of the road. ADA compliant crosswalks are being put in, curbs, even sidewalks in some places. I was speaking with the foreman of the project recently, and he told me sidewalks really weren't part of the plan, but because of the location of some of these areas where there's no curbs and the sidewalk was basically part of the curb, they had to redo some sidewalks to make it so the stormwater could be controlled, and obviously that's a big part of roadways as well. So a lot of the storm drains are being replaced, the piping's being replaced. It's going to be milled down to taper into those catch basins and to the curb. So a lot of work is being done. It's taking a few months. We're almost to the end, so hang in there. For those of you who travel that a bit, you know that it's been frustrating. So it's going to be well worth it at the end of the day. So please keep your patience and realize that at the end of the day, we're going to have a really nice road as we did with Main Street a couple years ago. I had the same luck with my colleagues and support from my colleagues to allow the bonding to be passed through the legislature to have Main Street repaved and reconstructed a couple years ago, and this is the second phase of that. As we know, in Northern Westchester, we're the only way east-west through all of Northern Westchester is through 202 and Main Street, Peekskill, Cortland, Yorktown, my entire district. So we always try to improve those roadways and anything we can to make safety priority for our residents. Recently, Yorktown has had some pretty important things going on out there. Most recently, they just had their 7th annual Yorktown Street Fair and Festival put on by the Yorktown Chamber of Commerce. It's, as I said, it's in its 7th year. It's a wonderful festival. A lot of people come out, all the organizations and businesses participate out in Yorktown. They added some additions this year. You know, Eric DiBartolo is the president of the chamber this year, and he decided to add some new attractions, and one of them was a hot dog eating contest, which was a big hit. There was a good amount of people there for that. I was there to, as I always am every year, to help the senior citizens. I helped sponsor a luncheon for the seniors of Yorktown. All the restaurants in the area donate, and we put on a wonderful luncheon for the senior citizens. We come in, we serve them, and it's a lot of fun. They appreciate it, and we appreciate them. It's the least we can do for our seniors. So Yorktown is really on the move. Recently there was also a big event in Yorktown for the Jefferson Valley Mall. For those of us who grew up in the area, the Jefferson Valley Mall was the place to go to shop for many, many years. And obviously over time things change, stores go out of business, the building itself, the structure gets a little old in the tooth, as they say, and it's time to do some major renovations and some major rethinking of the mall itself, and that's what's being done. It's it's tens of millions of dollars of renovations and reconstruction going on out there. I was recently out there for the groundbreaking for that. Let's go to the groundbreaking and get a flavor of what the project is going through.
Real good. I want to thank everyone for coming today. My name is Matt Slater. I am Senator Terrence Murphy's Chief of Staff. Senator Murphy was a councilman here in Yorktown, elected in 2009 until this past November's election. This was a project of great pride for Senator Murphy, and while he couldn't be here today, he did ask me to read a short statement. Today marks the culmination of more than 4 years of hard work on behalf of the residents of Yorktown and the Hudson Valley. The people of Yorktown entrusted us to see this project through, and I am proud that we delivered for them. This project only further proves that when we work together, we can achieve great things. And I am proud to have partnered with my good friends and colleagues, Supervisor Michael Grace, Councilman Tom Diana, Councilman Greg Bernard, who also couldn't be here, to make this a reality. During my last days as a local councilman here in Yorktown, before I took office in the Senate, I was proud to approve the final measures necessary for this project to begin. I believed then, as I do now, that this project will spur the economic growth Yorktown needs, which will create a number of good jobs and reduce the tax burden on the residents in this town. Now I stand ready to offer my continued support and assistance to both the managing company Simon and the owners WP Glimcher, so that we can revitalize the Jefferson Valley Mall and make it a destination shopping center our residents can be proud of once again.
Priority for the town because the mall is extremely important. It's been an important player in the local economics, it is one of the major players for us. It's been around for decades. All we want to do is to see it thrive. I know that there's been a lot of, in any one of these situations, a lot of rumor goes out as to what's going on. We always had to keep our mouths shut and ask everybody to be patient because it was coming, and it's finally here. And so we're absolutely thrilled about it. Terrence, I wish he was here because him and I worked tirelessly on that for 3.5 years. And he's right, one of the final acts as councilman for Terrence Murphy was to sign off on the resolutions for the approvals for this day to finally come. And we're very happy here in Yorktown that it has come. And everybody will have to be a little patient because now the more to take a little bit of time to be taken down and put back up. But we're looking forward to a great lineup of retailers and to make Yorktown a destination place that it deserves to be, and have the shopping services that Yorktown do deserve. So we're very proud. And we congratulate WP Glimcher, and we were hoping for, what is it in Casablanca? This is the start of hopefully a beautiful relationship. So thank you all for coming. And John?
Yeah, John. Thank you very much. It's really a great day today for Yorktown, but all of northern Westchester. First, let me congratulate Supervisor Grace, Councilman Diana and Bernard and Murphy, obviously when he was on the council. What you see today is a shovel in the ground, as we like to say, but it takes a lot of effort, planning, negotiation to lead up to the days like today. And thank God we had Supervisor Grace there and his like-minded colleagues on the board to make this go forward, and to have the Chamber of Commerce backing them 100% day in and day out to bring commerce back to Yorktown again. And let me say that this is the center of retail for all of northern Westchester. It's obviously a big deal for Yorktown, but this is really the centerpiece for northern Westchester for retail. And this is where all the kids come to buy their clothes for school. And you're going to see the parking lot fill up even today for getting back to school. And to bring more store, my daughter worked here for a couple of years in one of the stores. We live in Peekskill, and all the people from Peekskill all the way out to Somers come to Yorktown to shop. And this is now going to be a real centerpiece after 30 years of being here. I want to congratulate the owners and the operators of the mall, and anything I can do to make this go forward in a smooth way and to even bring more retail and more business to Yorktown and to northern Westchester, I'm there to help. So I'm happy to be here today. Congratulations to everyone involved. Thanks. So as you can see, Yorktown is really moving forward with a lot of new projects, has their festivals going on, as I just mentioned, the Yorktown Chamber Festival that was just recently downtown. They also had, for the very first time, the first annual San Gennaro Feast in Yorktown. It was another wonderful event, well attended by a lot of people. I was proud to be a part of that. Obviously, it's part of their celebration of Italian heritage, which is a main part of my background, so it was an honor to be a part of it. I thank them for asking me. And the JV Mall project, again, is going to be a wonderful project. We need that project to be a success. We need to have that place to go to in northern Westchester. Yes, we can go to Connecticut. Yes, we can go to White Plains and other places, and we still will. But we need to have those local places that we can go to, get what we need, and feel that we don't have to travel if we don't want to, actually, to get what we need. So congratulations to Yorktown, everything they're doing out there, and I'm proud to help them. Now in Peekskill, we have a Mayor Catalina in Peekskill who is also very business-minded and trying to bring in new businesses. Peekskill is a place where it's kind of a crossroads to a lot of areas, and a lot of new businesses are coming in there. Restaurants, even from when I was mayor, they're coming in that were looking for places to relocate or to start a business, and Peekskill became their location. And Mayor Catalina has put a new focus on that. There was a little bit of a lull of businesses coming in and things happening over a few years, and since Mayor Catalina took office, he and his like-minded council members as well have been doing their best to upgrade the community and to get the finances in order. And to do that, you need to build the tax base, and that's what he's been trying to do. Recently, I caught up with him at a ribbon cutting for a new business in town at the end of Washington Street. The Westchester Tool Rental company opened up a second location, and they decided to pick Peekskill, a beautiful location, a nice big area there on the end of Washington Street in the city of Peekskill. Let's go and see what Frank Catalina is doing in the city of Peekskill. We're here today at the Westchester Tool Rental opening, and on topic. We're always at all these events, and we love to support our local businesses. I've been doing it for many, many years. And we happen to run into Frank Catalina, Mayor of the City of Peekskill, over here. Frank, just another small business coming to Peekskill. You've been doing a great job over the last 2 years bringing that back, that whole thought process of reinvesting in the city. So how's it going so far?
Well, it's going great, John. You know, you had a great foundation when you were mayor here, and one of the things I ran on was bringing in small employers, 25 to 35 employees, and that's exactly what Ken Puff has brought here. He's got a great, thriving business down in Elmsford, needed to address the need for the northern Westchester community, so we're glad that he made a home here in Peekskill and brought those 25 employees up here. That didn't mean that he got rid of the 25 employees down in Elmsford. That means he expanded his business and made it a thriving enterprise up here. There's room for competition. Competition makes the tide rise, and a rising tide raises all boats.
You're doing a great job of getting that message out and having people look at Peekskill again to
Under
invest.
difficult circumstances.
Yeah, but what do you have on the horizon? What kind of plans? And I know there's always projects that take a couple years to come into fruition. People don't realize that the 2 or 3 years ahead of time, all the process that has to go through with the planning process and approvals, and I know you're in that with a lot of projects right now. Can you give us a flavor of what's going on?
Well, we have 9 major development projects currently speaking to us. 6 are currently before the planning board. 3 more are not formally before the planning board yet. And these are representing $480 million, almost $500 million worth of growth and development in a city that for the previous 6 years had only 1 commercial building built, a Walgreens drugstore. So on the residential end, we have a lot of development going on, and on the commercial end, we have the Diamond Brothers doing a multi-million-dollar project down at the Cove. They're bringing in a Captain Lawrence. They have the Speedway over in Mount Kisco, so they have family entertainment, and they're going to do a very similar family-oriented recreational facility down at the Cove, exactly what that place needs. And also, they have big plans to dredge out and redo the marina portion of that area, so that's going to be a great project, and we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, and you were able to get some other projects that were languishing for years, like Peekskill Landing and the south end of the riverfront finally coming. The grants were there for 10 years, and they didn't thankfully get taken back by the state, and you were able to get all that done. You're doing a great job, and you're getting a lot done in a short amount of time. So you're on the right track, you got the right ideas, and it's an honor to work with you, and I'll be there with you side by side, whatever I can do to help you.
Thank you for always being there, always answering the phone no matter when I call, and for letting us know when the county has funds available for us. And of course, being a former mayor, you know how helpful that is.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Good luck. Thank you. I'm really happy to be working with Mayor Catalina and the council in Peekskill to do what I can from the Westchester County point of view to make sure that Peekskill has all the tools they need to move forward. It's where I grew up. It's a very important part of my life, obviously. It's where I taught for 33 years. And another part of Peekskill that they're celebrating this year, and it's a year of celebrations throughout northern Westchester, as we'll see. But Peekskill is celebrating their 75th anniversary as a city this year. And it's pretty amazing that it's been 75 years since they decided to break away as the village of Peekskill that was part of the town of Cortland back in 1940. And now we're in our 75th anniversary, and there's been a lot planned. Mayor Catalina started the year off with a ball drop in downtown Peekskill, which was an exciting time for the city in general, but it was a way to kick off the 75th anniversary year. There's a big gala coming up. There's a journal being put together. There's a lot of events that have been taking place over the course of the year, and it's really an exciting time in Peekskill. And it's an exciting time everywhere because there's a lot of celebrations going on in our area. For example, in the village of Buchanan, Mayor Knickerbocker's doing a wonderful job there, and I was able to stop by there for her annual Buchanan Day, where all the community comes together, and she's been really making that something of a destination for the community every year. But it's also a big 75th anniversary year for the Buchanan Engine Company #1. Buchanan Engine Company, obviously 75 years ago, became a company of firefighters in the village of Buchanan. They have a wonderful history. They've been there a long time, and they're celebrating their 75th, so I was able to help them. They had also the county convention, the Westchester County Firefighters Convention. They hosted that in Buchanan this year. So it's been an exciting year everywhere in the northern part of the county, and there's still more to come. Now, as you all know, the Lincoln Depot Museum is something close to my heart, and the Lincoln legacy of the area and the country obviously is very important to us here. But for the county connection, this year was another big celebration and another big milestone. Obviously, it's the 150th anniversary of the assassination of President Lincoln. At the County Board of Supervisors at the time, this is the predecessor to the County Board of Legislators, what I'm a member of now, they formed a special committee, and they came up with a very poignant resolution basically acknowledging the death of the president, the mourning of the Westchester County residents over that, and how impactful it was to us. And I felt that when it brought to my attention that took place, that I felt it was very important for me as the legislator, as well as the legislator who is part of the Lincoln Depot Museum, promoting Lincoln as often as I can. I felt it was important to reaffirm that resolution in the 150th anniversary year. My colleagues agreed, and they unanimously allowed me to make a presentation at one of our board meetings in April to do that, and I want to bring you that short presentation I made at the board meeting down in White Plains. I know we like to think we make history every time we come in this room and vote on all these things we vote on week after week and year after year, but we really have an opportunity today to become a real part of history. And as we know, last few years and this year obviously is the sesquicentennial 150th celebration of the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln becoming president, being re-elected, and unfortunately 24 hours from now, roughly 150 years ago, he was assassinated at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., and died the following day. Our predecessors, the Westchester County Board of Supervisors at the time, in 1865, April of 1865, felt it very strongly, as they said in their resolution, to recognize the universal grief and sorrow of the county, felt that they needed to form a special committee, which they did, to create a pretty impressive, I'm not going to read it, but I think everyone should read it, resolution regarding the assassination and the loss of President Lincoln. And it was discovered recently in the county archives that this resolution was passed by the county board back in May of 1865. And thanks to Chairman Kaplowitz and Chairwoman Perez for allowing this to come before the Legislation Committee. I felt it was important to reaffirm this resolution as part of this body, the County Board of Legislators, 150 years later, as part of history and as part, I think, is the right thing to do. So I appreciate the board indulging this resolution and supporting it. And again, Westchester had a very important connection with Lincoln on his way to his inauguration. He stopped only in one place in Peekskill, in Westchester, which was Peekskill.
The Testa house.
And yes, and unfortunately, after his assassination, there was a very long process of returning his body to Springfield. He again stopped in Peekskill. The train stopped briefly in Peekskill on April 25th of that year on his way back. So it's appropriate that we recognize this resolution, reaffirm it tonight, and continue to remain in the forefront of Abraham Lincoln's memory and what he has done for us and our country. Thank you. Just a couple more things related to Lincoln and the Lincoln Depot Museum. We've had some wonderful accolades this year. It's our first full year in operation. Seems a lot longer than that in some ways because we've been talking about it for so long, but the actual museum itself we're only in our very first year of operation, and it's been getting noticed not only area-wide but country-wide and even internationally. We've gotten some inquiries from around the world who have noticed what we're doing here. One of them was Westchester Magazine recently named the Lincoln Depot Museum the best museum in Westchester as part of their Best Of series this year. We've had James McPherson visit. James McPherson is a professor at Princeton University, one of preeminent historical figures, writers and teachers, and many of you may know him and the books he has written about Lincoln and the Civil War. He made a special trip to our museum, and we gave him a private tour recently. We had a couple really good events at the museum. First ever Juneteenth ceremony in Peekskill, raising of the Juneteenth flag, which is an official flag that has never been done in Peekskill before. It really has not been done in this area before. So we were honored at the Lincoln Depot Museum, and I was honored as the county legislator as well as the president of the museum to host that ceremony. And we had Mount Lebanon Baptist Church help us, and many members of our community help us. Frank Catalina, the mayor, was there, as well as Pastor Stephanie Graham from the Presbyterian Church was there to help us. It was a wonderful event, and we hope to make that an annual event. We made sure we got the proper flag. We raised it on our flagpole that was donated to us by the Elks, and we made a really good community event. Hopefully it'll be a tradition in Peekskill. Speaking of the Elks and the Lincoln Depot, as you know, a couple years ago they donated the flagpole to us that is down there, and that year, 2 years ago, they had their annual Flag Day ceremony for us at the Depot Museum. It was a wonderful event, and they asked to have it there again this past year. So this past June, we had the ceremony again at the Depot. many people come. It's a special, very poignant ceremony that they have, that all Elks lodges do throughout the country, and to have it done for us 2 years in a row at the depot was an honor for us. So we want to thank the Elks, the local 744 lodge here in Peekskill that helped us do that. So thank you for that, Elks. I'm a member of the Elks. My grandfather was a member, and it's something that has always been a tradition in Peekskill to have the Elks there to help veterans, to help our youngsters, and to really be a patriotic center for our community. I have to make sure to mention the Irish Fest that takes place now in the 7th year in the city of Peekskill. The Hudson Valley Irish Heritage Center puts on it's always in September, which is the 6th month to St. Patrick's Day measure. As you know, in this area we talk about St. Patrick's Day and celebrate Irish heritage all year long, and my great-grandmother on my mother's side would be happy to know that, since that's where she came from. But it's always a great event. They always seem to have great weather, and it was another great event this year. I was proud to be there to help kick it off. The Peekskill St. Patrick's Day Committee also was part of that. They help with, they have 20 years of, over 20 years of doing the parade in Peekskill. And it's always a wonderful time. And as you know, this past year, again, the Irish delegation came from Ireland to be part of our parade. And I'm always there to help. And as mayor, I was still the only mayor to visit Ireland in an official capacity to replicate our twinning relationship, as it's called. They come here every year, but I was able to go there back when I was mayor. It was an honor then. They treated me well. It was a lot of fun, and it's always great to see friends come from Ireland and visit us here. And as you know, a couple years ago, I was able to speak with our county executive, Rob Astorino, and we established a twinning relationship with Westchester County and County Mayo in Ireland. So we have now a county relationship, a twinning relationship, as well as the city of Peekskill with Castlebar, which is the town in County Mayo that we have had that twinning relationship with for a long time now. So it's always great to be a part of those organizations' events, and I will continue to do that. And finally, I just want to point out the newsletter that you all should have gotten recently. It outlines a lot of the things that are going on, a couple main events or main topics that people are always looking about. Obviously the Westchester Knicks, which are the New York Knicks D-League team that are now playing in County Center. They are about to start their second season in Westchester. It was a very successful first year. A lot of new things are going on. A lot of improvements to County Center are taking place, and hopefully, if you haven't been to a game, you will this year. Also in the newsletter is a lot of photos of some of the events I just spoke about and others that I didn't mention, as well as an update on the Playland saga that's going on. As you know, Playland is going to be under private and partially county running of the next number of years. So we're hoping to make that a success, and this is the first year of a co-management of the Playland Park, and next year starts the new organizations taking over the operation. So as time goes on, I will be bringing that to you in a future show, the details of how that's going, some of the ups and downs that may be taking place, and some of the details, so for next season you will know what to expect at Playland. So thank you once again for joining me on another On Topic. If you need to contact me, please call my office at 914-995-2828. Feel free to contact me through your email. My email is jgtesta@verizon.net. Or you can stop me on the street, as many of you do. I'm available also through my website, johngtesta.com. And you can see me on Facebook, on YouTube, all the social media, except for Twitter. I don't do Twitter yet, but I think I have enough other ways that you can contact me if you need to. So again, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you in the next show.